I have never received this many messages about my partner's packed lunch before, so I thought I'd show you how I did it. I started off by roasting some chicken, which is going to be the main protein of his sandwiches. I always put onions at the bottom of the tray. They go all sweet when they get roasted, and I use them in the sandwiches too. Obviously, this is a huge amount of chicken, so I'll be using this in multiple meals throughout the week, and it just saves me time to cook it in one big batch. They took around 50 minutes in the oven, and then I rested them for 2 hours, and look at all those beautiful cooking juices. I'll normally remove the legs and the wings because they're a great chicken snack to have cold in a lunchbox. Then I separate out the rest of the meat. The breast meat goes in one bowl, and the leg meat and the brown meat goes in another. My cats could smell what I was doing, and I had to pay the chicken tax. I know I go on about this all the time, but save all the bones and all the juices to make a stock with later. This stuff is liquid gold, and it's probably the best part of the whole thing. Just look at the amount of meat I got off of these 2 birds. That's probably lunches and dinners for my family of 4 for a couple of days at least. Now onto the Yorkshire puddings, which I'm going to use as wraps for the sandwiches. I used 8 eggs, and that gave me 4 large wraps. My top tip for making Yorkshire puddings is to rest your batter in the fridge for a few hours before you pour it into the hot oil. This baking tray is called an enamelled pie dish, but I only have one, so I can only make one of these at a time. I baked them for around 12 minutes, and they came out perfectly. So now it's time for my favourite part, which is assembling the sandwich. I went in with some cranberry sauce first, then some stuffing and the chicken. Then I added those soft, sweet roasted onions, some bacon and rockets. I topped it with some mayonnaise because that man is a mayonnaise king. Then it was time to wrap it, and I was pleasantly surprised because I wrapped it in the same way I would a burrito, but I was expecting it to rip or tear, but it didn't at all. It definitely helps if you don't overfill the fillings too. Also, is this not the most annoying thing about washing up, when you lean up against the sink and it's wet and you get it all over your clothes? For the rest of his lunch, he asked me to add in as much protein as I could. Our wedding's coming up in a few months, and whilst I'm trying to lose weight for my wedding dress, he's trying to put weight on, which he finds really difficult to do. Not much problem for me though, because food is my love language and I love feeding him. The day before, I'd made a big batch of mince pies, which I put into his lunch as his sweet snack. I'd also made some shortbread, which was supposed to be gifts to people, but I made far too much, so we got to eat it. And that was everything I made him for his lunch. I know this might seem like a crazy amount of food for some people, but he leaves really early in the morning, so this is his breakfast, lunch, and maybe sometimes dinner as well. I started doing this because I wanted to save us money, because can you imagine how much this would all cost if he was to buy it in the supermarket? He'll make himself a coffee before he leaves in the morning, and I'd also found some tinsel, so I thought I'd wrap it around his lunchbox to make it extra festive. I'm lucky enough to have quite a lot of fridge space, so I put his entire lunchbox in the fridge for him to take in the morning. Thanks for watching. I'll put the Yorkshire pudding recipe in the caption.